yesterday, one of my favorite shows returned as The Boys made its way back to Amazon for the beginning of season 3. And they launched The Boys season 3 with not 1, not 2, but 3 episodes. And I only had time to watch 2. I'll have to watch the 3rd one a little bit later today. And we thought we would talk about it here a little bit. Don't worry, in a non-spoiler way, because a little bit later today, just so you guys know, at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, later today, we will be doing an open spoiler discussion of The Boys after show, if you will, where me and Rob are going to break down and talk about, in all spoilery goodness, all the insane stuff that happened in The Boys episodes 1 through 3. So make sure you guys come back for us at that point where we will go into all the spoilers. But for now, we're just going to talk a little bit about our impressions of the show. Again, me from watching 2 episodes, these guys each watched all 3, and our general impressions. I'll just tell you this, I'm 2 episodes in. This is the best season so far. I'm 2 episodes in, and we will not tell you what happens, but the first 10 minutes of this show, if you forgot, it's like Eric Kripke is saying to the audience, if you forgot how far we're willing to go, let's remind you of that right now.
Absolutely. For
those of you who've seen it, you know what we're talking about. One of the most insane, craziest things I have ever seen on a television screen, like right within the first 5 minutes. And I was like gasping for air. I was laughing so hard. But it just went from there. The story is great. They already, just in the first 2 episodes I saw, they are going deeper into each of their characters. Each one of them has an individual struggle and thing that they're dealing with. It's setting up various storylines. You see how they're going to converge. They tie up and pick up on a lot of things from season 2. I mean, they just did so much in the first 2 episodes I saw. And again, it was exciting. It was gruesome. It was hilarious. And I love these characters. It reminds me a lot of Supernatural in a way, which makes sense because there's Kripke also did Supernatural. But in the sense that even if there's nothing going on, I would watch this show just to hang out with the boys, just to have them on my screen. Even if they're just sitting in a room trying to learn how to play piano, I will sit there and watch it because these are just such great, fun characters. And they all have multiple levels to them. They're all very, very different from each other. I just love it. And by the way, I forget her name, but Frenchie and her.
Kimiko.
Kimiko, that's right. I almost ship them as much as Druig and Makari. And you know how much I like Druig and Makari. I ship them almost as much as that. They're adorable to me. Anyway, Rob, you saw all 3 episodes of The Boys. For you, how did this season start off? Did you like what you saw?
Dude, I'm with you. I mean, for me, all of this stuff lives and dies with the writing. And this show is doing so many things simultaneously. But first and foremost, all the characters have motivation. You understand what's going on with all of them. And not just our primary cast, but the secondary cast as well. Even Giancarlo Esposito, I was saying, what MVP player. Between that and Moff Gideon and Gus Fring and Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad, but what they're juggling and how all of it is satisfying. All of it. There's a narrative. Should I say the word thrust? A narrative thrust that runs through the show that it's propulsive and it's incredibly compelling. And I'm telling you, the way this show skewers sacred cows.
Mm-hmm.
I know when people talk about representation and they want to, this show certainly represents, and it maybe not in the way people would like them to, but my God, this show is fearless. It is absolutely fearless from a socio-political standpoint, from a sexual standpoint, from a violent standpoint. I mean, this show does it all, and I'll tell you, it's also wildly creative. The effects work is jaw-dropping. And I'd have to say another word that I would use to describe the show is gooey. These 3 episodes were very gooey, and the gore. I mean, I don't understand how they do. Like I've actually slowed down when people blow up in this show. It's unbelievable. Like I love scanners, the head explosion scanners. That was 81. The stuff they do in this show, practically, and the effects. I mean, they employ these things. John, I got to tell you, I was so wildly entertained by these first 3 episodes. On many different levels. And I mean, there are flashbacks that are fascinating.
Yeah.
There are new characters introduced that are fascinating. The new mysteries, and you're just watching this, and all of it, hanging over everything, is probably the scariest psychopath ever put on television.
Yeah.
In Homelander. That guy, his performance is great, but also every time he's on screen, dude, I get.
You feel dread.
Dude, I feel that's exactly it. Dread for everybody, like every single person, and I've never felt that way before. One of the great villains of all time.
I'll tell you what, too, in the midst of all the stuff that we were just talking about, the gore, the action, the absolute hilarity, there's a scene, I think it's in episode 2, where between a man and his ex-wife just sitting on a couch talking. And it's one of the best scenes of television that I've seen in months. I mean, it was just, it was just ripped in a show with all this bonkerness and all this, and the gore and blah, blah. And yet it was this scene of a man and his ex-wife sitting on a couch having a real discussion. And I was emotionally attached to it. I was riveted. I felt. And the other thing too is, you mentioned Homelander. I said this to you before the show started. It's amazing, and it came up in this season again. It is amazing how they make him the most vile psychopath, and yet the writing is so good that every once in a while you catch yourself having empathy for him at the same time. Like, it's insane how they've been able to do this with this character. We want to take a moment and thank the sponsor of today's video, Stamps.com. Now, guys, as a small business owner myself, I am always looking for ways to save costs, yes, but I know that our most valuable resource is time, and I'm always looking for things that can save us time. Stamps.com saves you both. Because when you're running a small business, every second counts. You can't afford to waste a single moment. So why are you still taking time out of your day to go to the post office when you could be using Stamps.com instead? Stamps.com makes mailing and shipping quick, easy, and cost-effective. How cost-effective? Well, you can get discounts that you can't find anywhere else, like up to 30% off USPS rates and 86% off UPS. And there's no special hardware technology you need. All you need is your regular computer and printer, no special supplies or equipment required. So guys, stop wasting time and start saving money when you use Stamps.com to mail and ship. Sign up with the promo code CAMPEA for a special offer that includes a 4-week trial plus free postage and a digital scale. No long-term commitments or contracts needed. Just go to Stamps.com, click on the microphone at the top of the page, and enter the code CAMPEA. Anyway, Chris, you saw the first 3 episodes.
Yeah.
What's your impression been?
Oh, man. Things that I wanted to see on television. I went, not like this, not like this. This show does such a great job of lampooning not only superheroes as a whole, but our fan theories about superheroes.
Oh, my God,
Oh, my
yes.
God.
Yes,
it does
yes,
that
yes.
so well. Also, say no to drugs, kids. You're going to find out why if you haven't watched it. So these 3 episodes just are off to the races, and they are completely off the rails. And one of the things I think that is so fascinating with what they do on this show is not only do you empathize with these villainous, horrible characters, you also understand how people can bandwagon ideologies. You completely understand why people would connect with certain individuals or individual groups or things like that. And everyone's perspective is seen. And while you disagree with it vehemently, probably, I don't want to tell you what you believe, but you understand how they get righteous, virtuous followers on their side. And the storytelling in that way, you know, even though it is about superheroes, even though it is dripping with the most horrific violence I have ever seen, it's so grounded in its storytelling and relates to real life issues so well. It's such fascinating storytelling.
And you know what else, John? Like, I'm a fan of black sardonic humor. Like, Doctor Strangelove, which deals with the end of the world,
Right.
and it's funny as hell. You know, it's like the humor in this, I feel guilty at the stuff I laugh at.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I literally, I've never, as much as I like somebody who has a dark sense of humor, even this show goes beyond, and I am laughing my ass off, and then I catch myself, and I'm like, I'm going to burn in hell.
Yep.
And I am laughing at this. I should not be laughing at it. I mean, this show, in terms of its entertainment value per minute, I'm hard pressed to come up with something I think that is more entertaining than this show.
And that's the thing about it too. That's where the brilliance of it lies. Because if you just look at it for 2 seconds, you might think, oh, it's just some gross superhero. The writing, the stories, what they're actually saying, the sociopolitical commentary,
Yes.
that it's actually brilliance wrapped up in this veneer of bonkersness. And I'll go so far as to say this. I am now 4 episodes into Stranger Things season 4. And I've been loving it. I think it's the best Stranger Things has been so far. I'm 2 episodes into The Boys. The Boys season 3 is better than Stranger Things season 4 to me so far.
Oh.
Now, ask me again once I finish season 4 of Stranger Things. Maybe I'll change my tune. But I mean, this is the best Stranger Things has been. This is the best The Boys have been so far, and I'm loving it.
And I feel too that, and Chris, John, I mean, this feels like it's unfettered in terms of its ability to go wherever they want to go. I mean, this show has a level of both puerile disgust and real elevated political discourse, sometimes in the same scene.
Yeah.
That is an incredibly deft balancing act. And I'm very, very impressed by this. And I'm sure a lot of, look, if you just want to watch, oh my God, watch it for shock value, you can do it for that. But like they go to an amusement park and I just, the stuff that happens it was so hilarious, even though it's subtle.
And by the way, I have never laughed so hard at A-Train.
Oh, yeah.
the little C-level storyline they've got going with A-Train. I'm just like, when he walks out on that stage, and I'm not going to give anything away. When he walks on stage, they go, "What is he wearing?"
I mean, I mean, even that, the whole A-Train storyline. I mean, there are no sacred cows. Like I thought, South Park. I've always loved South Park. Their topical political humor, but you know what they're doing. This goes for things in such a way where, man, no one is beyond being made fun of. And wow, it's incredible.
Guys, want to remind you that we will go into all full open detail spoiler discussion on this thing at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time today when we do our The Boys after show. Again, 4 p.m. today. Come on over and join us. We're going to cover the first 3 episodes. We can't wait to talk about it more with you guys there.